We do, that's true. Okay, let's see who we got in the waiting room this morning. All right, I think we're almost in business. Morning, everybody. I'm Judge Nicola. Just trying to get everybody that's over Zoom up and running. Let's see here. Good morning, everyone who's over Zoom. My name is Judge Nicola. And can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hi, good morning. Sir, Mr. Moldovan, who are you here for, sir?
Good morning, Judge. I'm here on Alessandro Sana, S-A-N-A.
Okay, yes, sir. And that's case number 19CT2471. And this is Attorney Moldovan. How do you say your last name? Moldovan?
Moldovan, but Moldovan's fine, Judge.
Moldovan, got it. Okay. All right, Mr. Reb. Good morning. Good, how are you?
Doing well. The defendant in this case is being violated for 2 Probation 12 violations of impoundment and 50 hours of community service. The state is just requesting a continuance at this point to allow the defendant to complete the
All right. Mr. Moldovan, I don't know if you could hear Mr. Rab, but he's saying that the state is requesting a continuance in this matter to allow the defendant to attempt to complete the remaining conditions, which I understand are proof of completion of the 10-day vehicle impound and also completion of the 50 hours of community service.
The impound has been completed and the 50 hours has not. My client wanted me to request if he can buy him out.
So he has completed the vehicle impound?
According to the probation officer, yes, Judge.
Okay. Do we have any information that he has completed?
Your Honor, in the interim, the city has no objection to via community service.
Okay. I do need to do an order on that though, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. Do we have any blank orders in this courtroom? I don't have any that are near me.
Right here, Judge.
Oh, thank you. All right, so Mr. Moldovan, the court will allow this defendant to buy out the community service hours, and I will sign an order on that. And let's get back on my dashboard. Okay, so Mr. Moldovan, the state has indicated that they do not see any information related to your client completing the impoundment. So we just need to get that on file. What I will do in the interim is I'm going to enter an order allowing him to buy out the community service hours. And I'm going to continue this VOP arraignment to my next VOP arraignment, which will be March the 23rd at 9 a.m. And at that time, hopefully that'll be sufficient time to allow us to have the community service hours paid and the vehicle impoundment certificate of record. How's that sound? Sir?
Okay, that's fine, Judge. I appreciate that. And it would be what, $500
Yes, it would.
for the buyout?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He could also do a combination. He could do 25 community service hours and provide proof of those and pay $250. We're good with whichever. We're giving him the option to buy it out, but that also allows him the option to do some of it with the community service if he would like.
Okay, that's fine, Judge. I'll let him know.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. See you March 23rd.
See you March 23rd. Just give me one quick second, folks, so I can get this order written. Today's the 16th. Hi, good morning, sir. Are you Mr. Gills?
Yes, I am.
All right, we have over Zoom Mark Gills, and his case is case number 13 CT 3511. Mr. Rab.
Yes, Your Honor. The state right now is again requesting a continuance for a month to allow the defendant to complete his own violation of year 2.
All right, so Mr. Gills, is it Gills or Gillis? It looks like it's Gillis.
Yeah, Gillis, a second I at the end, Gillis.
On your Zoom name, it just says GILS.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I had that set up for a meeting probably a year ago.
That's okay. So what the state is asking is that the court continue this violation hearing until my next VOP date, which is March the 23rd at 9 o'clock. The only outstanding thing that you need to complete is the DUI school. So if we can get you to complete the DUI school, you'll be done.
I'm actually already signed up. I'm up here in New York.
Okay.
It's a lot different than Florida as far as a lot of things aren't open. So I had a very difficult time finding a place. And then my probation officer actually told me about a place in Florida that he would accept with online DUI school.
Okay, and when are you planning on doing that? When are you?
I'm already signed up. I've already paid. It's March 5th, 6th, and 7th. Friday,
Okay.
Whatever that Friday, Saturday, Sunday is.
Okay, I just want to make sure I gave you sufficient time to get it done. So, because my next date's the 23rd, but it sounds like March 5th, 6th, and 7th, you'll be done. So that's fantastic. All right. Yes.
So I complete the school. I send the information to Mr. Hornbeck and also to Jennifer.
Yes.
What happens after that? Do I get a letter saying I'm off, or?
Let me just ask Mr. Rabb. Mr. Rabb, is it the state's position that if Mr. Gillis finishes his DUI school, he said he signed up for the 5th, 6th, and 7th virtually, which was approved by Mr. Hornbeck, that the state would dismiss the violation and he'd be done?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's what'll happen, sir, is that in the event you get that all done and you send it all in, that the state will dismiss the violation. The information on cases in, at least in Collier County, can be found at collierclerk.com. So you should be able to look at your case to show that the violation has been dismissed. In the event you don't see that it's dismissed, just zoom in on March the 23rd, just like you did today, and it'll be announced on the record. We've got lots and lots and lots of cases, and every once in a while, not very often luckily, but every once in a while, we have one that didn't get dismissed in time and we still have to have our hearing like we're having today. But it seems to me like you're going to be getting that done, well in advance of our next hearing date. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'll be done, and I apologize for not having it done earlier.
No, I understand. You're up in New York, and we're all trying to make accommodations based on where people are living and the situation we're in right now. And, we still have some places in Florida that aren't open, and I understand it's much worse where you are. So I'm glad you were able to work that out with Mr. Hornbeck and get it done. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you to the state also.
All right, sounds good. All right, Mr. Gillis, we'll see you again. Or maybe not. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, we have some people in the courtroom. Let's start with you, sir, in the back. You want to come on up? Hi, good morning. Bless you. What's your name, sir? Mr. Lopez. 19 CT 2113. And what are we doing for Mr. Lopez, Mr. Rabb?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's current offer to resolve the violation of probation communication. The broken sentence, 90 days jail, conditions outstanding. At this time, it does not appear that the defendant has completed any of his.
All right, Mr. Lopez, let's just take a look first of all at your violation. The violation that you're currently being charged with is that you're $900 in arrears for your cost of supervision, that you still haven't paid the fines and court costs, $1,588, and that you have a whole bunch of other things that you haven't done, which are the 10-day vehicle impound, the DUI school, the substitutes evaluation, the community service hours, and the victim impact panel. It sounds to me like you have an awful lot of things to do left still.
I didn't work for a lot last year. I had 4 jobs and not working. My daughter was working. Plus my living conditions, I was paying way too much money. So, I had to borrow money to pay rent from my mom.
Okay. Well,
I got money today because I wanted to take care of a lot of these things. But now that I have a new place of living, my rent's a lot cheaper, so I've been able to save money.
okay. Well, what we need to see from you is we're going to need to start seeing some significant progress from you, because the current offer from the state attorney's office on your violation of probation is jail. And it's jail because what it looks like to the court
That I'm not trying.
is that you haven't taken it seriously and that you're not trying.
I understand.
So what I am willing to do at this point is enter a denial on your behalf and set you for my next, would you like me to put this on a 9 or a 10, Mr. Rabb? I mean, what I'm going to encourage this gentleman to do is start making some significant progress in the next 30 days.
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that the best case would be some docket, just set it for status.
Okay.
The defendant will be able to show some.
All right.
So we're going to set this for status on my next violation of probation hearing date, which is the, I just had it, the 23rd of March at 10 a.m. And that way you can start working on some of this stuff. We really would like you to comply.
I've been trying.
I understand. And that's one of the reasons why I'm giving people a little more of a break than I used to, because I understand that people have been going through a lot more difficulties right now, having a hard time with the payments because of losing job and having a lot of financial obligations that are difficult. But in your case, you have an awful lot of things to do. And I know it will be difficult for you, but now's the time to start doing it.
I think the guy was going to get a lot easier. Like I said, my living conditions are a lot cheaper and I've been able to save money.
Okay,
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I recommend
Of course.
Lance County Probation.
yes,
If the defendant is unemployed at this time, that's for him to go down and talk to community service while he's not working and do the community service hours. It's been over.
it's been almost, it's been a year. Yeah, so when you're not working, that's a good time to do a little bit of community service. Plus, we need people right now to help us out in the community. So if you could at least start working on that and then, see if you can get signed up for some of this other stuff, that would be the victim impact panel, I think is something. Can they do the victim impact panel online right now? That can be done online. You could do it over the internet. Pardon me? The victim impact panel? That's basically a panel of individuals who have had their lives affected by people who have been driving under the influence, and they have a kind of a panel that kind of impresses on you the devastation that they've suffered as a result of having somebody that has driven when they've had too much to drink. And that's part of your court-ordered probation requirement. And if you have any questions about that, you can always go down to probation and say, what do I have left? But your affidavit for violation says to me that you have the following things left. You have fines and court costs, which in all honesty, if you cannot afford those are the least of our worries. We'll work with you on those. But the 10-day vehicle impound, the DUI school, the victim impact panel, substance abuse, those are, then you're gonna have to explain that to your probation officer and explain that you can't impound a vehicle that you don't own. But these are things that you have to explain to the officer and we have to have a collaboration on it, okay? Because there are things that we can do to help you, but you have to have good communication with your probation officer in order to do that, okay? All right, so we'll see you in March the 23rd at 10 a.m., sir. All right, thank you. Okay, sir in the front in the white shirt. Yes, come on up. What is your name, sir? Mr. Oswald, 19 CT 2886. Mr. Rabb?
Yes, Your Honor. Say is just requesting a continuance at this time. It appears that the only violation remaining is DUI school. Say we just ask for a continuance so that the defendant.
Okay, I do see that the hours were completed and it looks like that's the only thing left. How are we doing with that, sir? Do you think
it's scheduled for this weekend, actually? My class is Friday night and I'll be Saturday and the evaluation is.
Can't.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Hendricks?
You made a counseling with you too, right? Oh, incorrect there. You haven't done the evaluation.
Yes.
They refer you to 8 to 12 weeks of counseling. So that could be an issue also.
Well, why don't we just do this? Let's move it a month to that March 23rd date. And if the substance abuse evaluation includes some counseling and you're continuing to do that, we can continue to move this hearing in order to allow you to complete it. Because as I said to the gentleman before, we want compliance and we want you to succeed, not fail. And it sounds like you're on your way there, so.
If you don't have Zoom, it's very difficult for the availability to get into these DUI classes.
Oh, okay.
I signed up I paid for my class in October after the previous 3 was lifted.
Right.
They had no classes in October, November, December. So that's where I was left with that. And I had my alcohol class signed up for January, but it was 12 days out, and I needed to get out of state documents, driving records.
Oh, okay.
It took 3 or 4 weeks to get that from me.
Yeah, I do understand that Zoom is difficult for a lot of people. If you don't have a computer, or if you're just somebody who is just not going to be able to do it. So, you know, we will always make accommodations to try and figure out how to get you to comply. It's just, I know that a lot of places are relying on Zoom or Teams or WebEx, or, you know, and it all requires internet access and a computer that some people just don't have or can't do it. So I'm glad you're able to get this completed now. So we'll work with you. All right. So we're going to move you to March the 23rd, 9 or 10, Mr. Rabb. Do you want me to put him on a 10, just like I did with the other gentleman for status?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we're going to enter a general denial on your behalf to the violation. Move you to the March 23rd at 10 date. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Gentleman in the black shirt, you want to come on up? Hi, good morning. What's your name, sir? Oh, yes, of course.
This is actually Judge Brown's case, so.
Oh.
It will not be March 23rd.
I always forget that when I do these morning hearings, that they're not all my cases, that they're assigned to other judges as well. So you're going to be in front of Judge Brown. What would his date be?
March the 9th? Is that, no.
I think we need to give him more time than that. Let's give him an April
April
date.
13th.
Yeah, let's give him April 13th. March 9th just feels like it's too soon. All right, Mr. Samuels, I don't see you on here. Where are you? I don't see you on my docket. Do you have paperwork?
No. He's on the 10 o'clock.
He is? Okay, let me find him. Oh, you are. You're on the 10 o'clock, 19 CT 132. Mr. Samuels, would you mind waiting for just a minute so I can get through the people in the 9 o'clock? I'll call you early since you're here early, but I want to get through my 9 o'clock docket first, okay? All right, thank you. Gentleman in the back, I think he was here first in the stripes. Stripes, vertical stripes. You, yes. I think. I'm sorry, I don't know exactly who was here first. I thought he was. Should have you guys take numbers now that we're. What's your name, sir?
John Wortham, W-O-R.
Yes, Mr. Wortham, 19 CT 1471.
Correct.
Mr. Ab, what are we doing for Mr. Wortham this morning? Let me just take a look.
State's recommendation as it relates to count 1 would be 180 days jail. As to count 4, time served, currently has 120 days credit time served.
Yes, sir.
My probation officer called me just for that and said I had a warrant because I wasn't paying on my fine.
Right?
What I was doing was I was putting 1471 POCT and it put a fine on my money order. All my money for the fines was going to probation. Now I have my impact panel, I got my club certificate, and I got my notes from my doctor. I've been seeing it for 12 months. And I just went downstairs and paid $2,400, and I tried to put the rest on a credit card online, and for some reason or another, it won't go through. So I am
Okay.
able to make that payment. I'm sorry. That's completely off context.
Okay.
So,
So with your fines and the you can always go down to the cashier and you can give them a credit card, I think. But
Fully paid. The clerk's fines are fully paid.
okay, so the money that needs to be paid is what? What does he owe? Nothing?
Yes.
Okay. Outstanding fines and court costs of $5,163. That's all paid?
you know, everything is 2,100, and that 2,100.
What's the 2,100 for? Mr. Hendricks, do you know?
Is the remainder of the balance of the due.
The clerk just indicated that you're
We
paid.
paid $2,025 on, both today,
Okay.
and then he paid another $2,138 today.
Then evidently the person on the other side got the credit card to go through.
Good.
I've been down there with her for about 15 minutes trying to get that to go through.
Okay.
So I have my probation paid for.
All right.
My fines are paid for.
Let's go through it. Let's go through it individually. Let's just do them step by step. You said you did your victim impact panel, so that's good because that was one that was a violation. Then you had some counseling that was recommended by your substance abuse evaluation. You've got that, wonderful. What about you? Then the next thing you've got the 10-day vehicle impound. You've got that. And then the last thing it says is that you have 90 days of weekend work program. That's what I'm seeing, 90 days of weekend work.
I've been doing weekends for a whole year now.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Mr. Hendricks, what's going on with this gentleman? Because what I see and what I hear are two different things. So why don't I have you chime in and tell me how he's doing?
Correct. If the client was paid off today, that's obviously taken care of. When I prepared this, it was outstanding. But
Of course.
if he's got the victim impact manual and the counseling certificate, I'll take a look at that.
Great.
I believe the mobilization of the vehicle, I thought was a 30-day mobilization.
I don't see the immobilization on the affidavit.
Oh, okay.
It says 10-day vehicle impound is what it says on the affidavit. Well, I can look at the judgment. Does it say 10 days? It says 30?
And then as far as I believe he's qualified for weekend lockdown. Is he attending lockdown or work program, sir?
I'm doing a lockdown since March 7th last year.
So if all those things are, he has proof here, it would be just the impoundment of the vehicle, he either needs to complete that or it qualifies for a waiver, that'd be another avenue. And then just wait till he's done with weekends.
Let me look at your judgment and sentence. Just give me a minute.
Thank you.
Okay. Because what I'm hearing from you is that you're making an amazing effort at getting all of this done, which I really appreciate. But I just want to take a look at your file really quick and see. I may want to get you sworn in really quick because I'm going to want to ask you some questions.
Right. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
All right, let me just take a quick look here.
I believe you did some straight time and then some weekends.
I did. 30 days straight.
Okay,
And man, if I could tell you that
sure.
when I got out of jail, March the 7th, I did 2 weekends. Then after that, they wouldn't let me come back for 6 weeks because of the virus.
Because of the virus.
And
Mhm.
then I went ahead and I started going back. And since we've been quarantined, I've been locked down. I did solitude every weekend. I'm not in population or whatever. I wondered if it'd be possible, since I've got all this other stuff done, if I could be released from the last couple of weekends that I had.
Well, I can't release you from the last weekends that you have, but we could discuss if it would be agreeable to the state, whether to allow you to do weekend work.
That would be wonderful.
Particularly in light of the fact that we just don't want to keep having people going into the jail with COVID right now. The impoundment of the vehicle, oh, it is, it's 30 days. Okay, that's okay. I'm gonna look at the impoundment statute real quick. Wow, we even have older books in this courtroom. I'm like, give me a new book, please. Oh, let's see. How much time does he have left, Mr. Hendricks?
I'm looking into that now.
Thank you. Okay, there we go. Impoundment statute is, there we go. Let's try that voice over there. I'm having a hard time finding what I'm looking for, so let's see if I can just do it this way. Sometimes it just takes a minute to try and find what you're looking for. Sometimes you don't find it, but I'm trying. All right, let's see here. Did we figure out how much time he's got? Okay, that's fine. I'm taking a look. Mr. Rob, do you remember which, I'm looking at 316 and I was trying to figure out which part of that statute talks about waiving the vehicle immobilization, but I can't seem to locate it right now. I'm looking at, and then of course I pull up Westlaw, and when I type in a search, it gives me like 3,000 references. I know we were talking about it the other day too, and yeah, well, I might change my mind about that. Yeah, but we make special exceptions when they're in the middle of a pandemic and we're taking somebody and putting them in and out of the jail every weekend because of the amount of time that they have left. And I'm just thinking outside the box here that if this gentleman has completed almost all of it and he only has a little bit of time left, it may be beneficial to everyone, particularly the jail and this gentleman, to have him complete the remainder on weekend work, as long as it's not a huge amount of it. Mr. Rab, yes?
Yes, as it relates to the waiver of impoundment, it's 316.
Yeah.
.193.
Yes?
Subsection 6G as in bulk.
Oh, thank you. Well, I was looking in the wrong spot, that's why. All right, sir, do you still own a vehicle?
Oh, yes. I misunderstood. I apologize. I thought it was
That's
30
okay.
days, and I'd be more than happy to go ahead and have it kind of longer.
I think we're gonna have to do that because the only way that the statute allows me to waive the rest of the impoundment is if there is, your family has no other means of transportation, and that would be private or public transportation. And under most circumstances, I can't make that finding. So I will have to have you do the other 20 days that are left of the impoundment. Just the question is right now is whether I can allow you to do the remainder of your sentence on weekend work. And I need to make sure that by doing that, that I'm not making an illegal sentence. So I need to figure that out, which means that right now I'm gonna take a look at the sentencing requirements under your penalties to see whether we can convert the rest of that. Yes, sir.
I was wondering if maybe it would be best to continue this to your March docket and to allow us time to do that, allow Mr. Hendricks to also be able to find out how much time is remaining.
Okay. All right.
It's like 2 or 3 weekends.
Okay.
And to confirm that, Your Honor.
All right.
Us be able to find the proper legal authority to do that as well.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to continue your case until March the 23rd at 10 o'clock. It's going to be a status hearing. In the meantime, if you could get the remaining 20 days done on your vehicle impound, and then what we'll do is we'll discuss the remainder of the jail that you have left, whether we're going to have to still have you do lockdown or whether we'll allow you to do weekend work. But for now, from now until the 23rd of March, all you're responsible for is getting that remaining 20-day impound done. And then we can tell you how much time you have left on your jail and whether you can do it on weekend work. But we can talk about it then, because I just don't know the answer today and it might take me a little while. Yes, sir.
And I imagine that this case is also going to be assigned to Judge Brown.
Yes. All right. So
My weekends will be done by March 23rd.
if your weekends will be done by March the 23rd, then you'll be done, and that's even better. So, because I can't make a determination today whether we could convert your judgment to one that allowed you weekend work, because I don't know the answer. And it might take until then to figure it out. And if you think you can just get those weekends done now, then get them done. Oh, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's totally miserable. But the great thing is there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you come in on March the 23rd and you're done, you go, I'll just put that miserable experience behind me and move on, right? Okay. Yes, she'll give you a piece of paper that gives you your next court date.
But if you want it on at 10 o'clock, it's gonna be Judge Brown. If you want it at 9 o'clock, I can put it on your 23rd.
Let's do that. You know what? I'll remember you. Let's keep you on the 23rd at 9 a.m. And that way it will stay my case. And if we have other things we need to do, then we can do it then. Sound good? Thank you. All right.
That was all downstairs. Probation officer. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right, sir in the back, come on up. Good morning, sir. What is your name? What's your last? Oh, Heath, Mr. Heath. Okay. 19 CT 2268.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what we've got for you. Your affidavit of violation. You still look like you have a lot to do too. Mr. Rabb?
Yes, Your Honor, as a result of the violations, the state's office of adjudication revoking the sentence, 90 days jail, and that's it.
So, sir, that's the state's offer to resolve this. How are you doing with your tasks, or do you think you'll be able to complete them? The current offer, if you don't think you can get your stuff done, is a 90-day jail sentence.
No, I can do it. I've been unemployed. Have some medical issues, and so I've done some of my things, and driving and that, but I still have to do the community service and pay the fines.
That's okay.
We do not have to drive DUI school.
No, I did it on that Zoom. I want to say I sent that information over to my probation officer,
Okay.
by email.
Do you think you could get another copy of that? That would be very helpful,
Yes.
because sometimes things get lost in translation. They either get lost over the internet or in the mail.
Right,
But-
that I did on the Zoom on the internet, and also the impact panels.
Okay. So what we see here that you don't have done is a DUI school, which you say you've done,
Yes.
your substance abuse evaluation and counseling if recommended, that you were required to do 50 hours of community service, and also you had to complete the 10-day vehicle impound. Of course, you've got all the fines and costs outstanding, but as I said to the gentleman before, we'll work with you if you're unemployed and you're having difficulty. The financial is honestly the least that we're concerned about when you aren't working. We can't put you in jail for not paying money if you're doing everything you can and you're not employed and you're suffering. But the other things with respect to the DUI things that we want you to do, I always kind of look at it this way: if someone's not working, then they should be making good progress on their community service, because that's something you can do when you're not working.
I had looked into 2 or 3 places, and at that time, they wouldn't take it.
It just needs to be a 501c3 charity. I mean, I think St. Matthew's House is handing out food to people almost every day.
Right, and I'm gonna check there, and actually, this Thursday, I have a job interview. Actually, I've had 2 second interviews, so.
That's wonderful.
I can get employed again and take care of some of these things.
That's great. We do need to get you signed up for your substance abuse evaluation. And there are places that'll do it on a sliding scale, or maybe even free. I don't know at this time right now, but I know that the David Lawrence Center usually offers evaluations and things to people based on their income. That might be a place to check, but you really need to work with probation. They can give you some really good hints about places that you can go where if you are having financial difficulties, that you can get compliance of your tasks. Just not getting them done is what got you here today. So I think with this gentleman, as we did with the previous gentleman, I'm going to continue him to another 9 a.m. with me, which will be March the 23rd at 9. It's going to be a status. I want to just see where we're at with this and see how much compliance you're doing with these remaining tasks. I know they probably feel like it's super overwhelming right now in light of everything you have going on. But if you just start ticking away at it, then you're not in trouble. So.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. We'll see you March the 23rd at 9 a.m. Thank you. Anything that you have that shows that you've completed, get it over to probation, okay? All right, thank you. Anybody else that's here on the 9 o'clock docket, sir? What's your name? All right, Mr. Snyder, I don't see you. He is? He's on the 9 o'clock. Did I accidentally cancel? Yes. I did. Somehow or another, I clicked on you on accident. 19 CT 852. Yes. All right, let's see what we've got for you, Mr. Snyder. Mr. Rabb.
Yes, Your Honor, my understanding, and I'll just have my understanding is that all conditions have been completed at this time.
Okay, wonderful.
Mr. Snyder.
Yeah, that's correct.
And in that case, Your Honor, the state announces a dismissal of the DOP and probation.
Congratulations, you're done. Thank you. All right, so let's see who else we have.
I'll need it.
In order dismissing the VOP? Okay.
You want to judge or you want him to have it?
Whoever has better handwriting, I don't know.
Oh, in that case, it's not
I was gonna say it's not me.
I'm just saying my brain structure.
So that puts me at the end?
Why do you think I handed in to him?
All right, Ms. Armpriester, you have Kathleen Higler, 20 MM 1613. Yes, let's do that. We'll enter denial on her behalf and set it for status. All right, do we have anybody else over Zoom that's waiting? No. Yes, Ms. Higler, we'll just set her for status.
And that's going to be under that.
Judge, is Ms. Higler Judge Adams' case?
I believe so.
Yes, we'll set it on Judge Adams' docket. We have an Yvonne Reyes, 20 MM 1659, represented by Courtney Stassi, and has also filed a notice of appearance waiver of arraignment. So, is she with the Public Defender's Office? Oh, interesting. Her address, when I pull it up, it says that she's in, like, when I look at it says Sanibel, Florida. Sandcastle Road, Sanibel, Florida. Courtney Stassi. Maybe she hasn't updated her address. Is she new? Huh, I don't know. For some reason, it's got a Sandcastle Road address, Sanibel. So we might have to fix that. So we'll put her also on a hearing docket.
That would be March the 16th.
All right. Then the last one that we have on our 9 o'clock is Michael Colhagen. Is he in jail?
No, Judge. He's not.
And Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
the state is going to request a death warrant. The defendant is not present. One of the violations, as the court will note on the VOP affidavit, is failure to report in both December of 2020 and January of 2021. The defendant has also numerous outstanding additional violations. Based on his non-presence here today, the state would be requesting a death warrant.
Mr. Hendricks, have we heard from him?
No, Your Honor, the statement was, in addition, this is the second BOP on this case, the first BOP tested positive for cocaine. Tuesday.
Do you guys have a phone number for him?
I will search, see what I have. The order has Linwood Avenue, correct? Last.
Yeah, I have 2696 Linwood Avenue, Naples.
You did have that listed on the last address.
Okay.
I should say last report, a few years ago, back in November. Nothing since.
Just wondering if we have a phone.
Number 682.
682?
9833, he's listed.
Okay. See if we can call him. Okay, that was 239 though, right?
239.
Hello?
Hi, is this Mr. Colhagen?
Sorry?
Is your name Michael Colhagen?
No, it isn't.
Okay, we have a wrong number. We're looking for Michael Colhagen. This must not be his number. Thank you. Okay. It is if you're anybody other than a judge. Oh, so we might strike that number. That's probably an old one.
Here's 682.
Yes?
4833.
4833. Okay. Huh? It might have been him. I don't know. See, the number that comes up is, I know that the numbers from the courthouse come up as like blocked or something weird.
There's like 252 and nothing. My office.
Right. Should have said, I'm calling you about your car warranty. Click. How many people are getting like 300 of those a day?
Michael, I'm sorry I can't get to the phone right now. Please leave your name and number, and I will get back to you as soon as possible.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Mr. Colhagen, this is Judge Nicola. I'm calling you from court this morning. You were supposed to be here this morning at 9 a.m. to address your violation of probation, and you are not here. Presently, the state is asking me to issue a bench warrant for you, but I managed to get you on the phone and leave you a message. I am ordering you to appear in person on Friday morning at 9 o'clock a.m. in front of me. If you do not appear this Friday at 9 a.m., I will be issuing a bench warrant for your arrest. Again, this is Judge Tamara Nicola calling you from court. You were supposed to be here this morning. I'm ordering you to appear Friday morning, this Friday, 9 a.m. in person. We'll see you then. Okay, maybe we will, maybe we won't. Let me give him a chance to be here. You got a phone number? We'll see. All right. Right, he did. I know, who does that, right? Okay, so we've got Mr. Fredericks here. Why don't we have you come on up, sir? I mean, Samuels. Sir Fredericks, your first name. Sorry about that. How are we doing today, sir? All right. And this is 19 CT 132 on the 10 o'clock docket. Let's see here. I have some notes too. Have not received a definitive response re-plea offer. We were setting this for trial and then something happened after that.
Well, I have an update.
Okay.
Some input that when searching this docket, you know, this, he does have significant criminal history. He was here last time.
Yes.
And it was 2 months out, so we did extend an additional month for him to comply. I have no progress made since the last 2 months ago.
All right. So, Mr. Samuels, do you understand that today is your hearing date? Today is the day to either get everything done or we're going to have a hearing this morning.
I got everything done. The only thing that I didn't get done, I had all the proof in my email on my phone. The only thing that I didn't get done was my payment, and I haven't gotten the vehicle impact. But I've done everything except for those 2 things.
Vehicle impound or the victim impact?
Vehicle impact. I've done every single thing. The reason why I didn't finish the last time was because the sessions was, every week. And so I just finished the sessions like last week. Because I tried to say, they said the only way I can do them is the court order would have to allow me to do them quicker. So I couldn't do them quicker. So I just finished those last week. So everything is done. I just haven't found the vehicle impact.
The impound. Why haven't you gotten the impound done?
I've just been trying to work and trying to meet the cars in the city. I haven't been working. I went to the divorce. Like I said, I just been struggling since this has happened. And so I just have to, I work for myself, I'm self-employed.
Okay.
So I've been just trying to work and take this off of me. That's the only thing I'm doing. And that's the only thing I haven't done is that.
It looks like the fees were sent to collections in January, so the money issue has already been sent to collections. Do you want Mr. Hendricks for me to recall this at 10? You can verify that he's done everything. He says the only thing he has left is the impound. And Mr. Hendricks says, I don't have any proof of that. I'm showing that you still haven't done anything.
Well, that's the only, that's the only thing I have.
Victim impact payment,
Yeah, I have all
substance abuse evaluation, and follow-up treatment.
I have all I'm doing. I have been doing.
Do you know who Nancy Mandolano is?
Yeah.
Okay, you just gotta turn it into her when you complete it. So.
Well, here's what we're gonna do. I have a 10 o'clock docket. You've got 15 minutes and we're gonna take a 15-minute recess, and I'm gonna give you an opportunity, sir, to provide all that information to probation so that they know that you've done it, because they're showing that you haven't. You say you've got it on your phone that you have. I mean, I gave you a bunch more time because I wanted you to finish. I wanted you to get your stuff done.
The only thing, like I said, it was the casual session that made me later and didn't deal with that time.
And that's why I gave you more time. I gave you more time because I realize that it's a struggle right now for people to get stuff done because a lot of places are closed and a lot of people are suffering financially. So I've been giving people more time to get stuff done. But I need you to provide that to Mr. Hendricks or whoever Mr. Hendricks directs you to, so that we know that that's done. Then we can bring you back in the next 15 minutes and then we can figure out what we need to do from here, okay? All right, so court's gonna be in recess till 10. us over Zoom.
Hang on, they're adding this.
Who's joining us over Zoom? All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Nicola. And we were, when we took the break, addressing Mr. Samuel's matter, 2019 CT 132. Mr. Hendricks, have we made any progress on seeing how this gentleman's doing?
Yes, Your Honor, he was able to provide me proof of completing counseling
Okay,
and completing the victim impact panel. I have that electronically
okay,
to enter.
Great.
Like you said, I believe the fines and court costs went to collections. He does have half his probation fees remaining outstanding, and he says he does have a vehicle still to immobilize for 10 days. So
okay.
I had that it was set for status, and I didn't have a hearing date. But
Okay, and you might be right. I may have set it for status. I don't remember. But it does sound like you're making a lot of progress, which is great. That's what we wanted to see. Do you think you'll be able to get your vehicle mobilization done within the next 30 days, sir? Okay, that would be wonderful, because I understand.
I recommend that he goes downstairs to speak with Nancy, because he does say here and he's in Miami back and forth.
Okay.
Make sure there's a place appropriate to do that and discuss the other financial.
All right. So, Mr. Samuels, I'll move your case to the 10 o'clock docket on March the 23rd. Again, it will be for another status, because I'm happy that you're getting stuff done. If you're in Miami, you could always go in over Zoom, or you could call my judicial assistant, Jennifer, and I can call you over the phone from court. You don't have to appear every single time. I don't want to make you drive from Miami. As long as we're just, we're here for status, and you can either email or fax or send your information showing that you got the vehicle impound done. I mean, we're right now we're trying to do everything electronically anyway, but I'm more than happy if you don't have a computer or you don't have an iPhone or something, I can call you right from the bench. Okay, so we'll continue you until March the 23rd at 10 a.m. Do you need my assistant's phone number so you can arrange that for the next hearing? Do you have a pen? Do you want me to write it down for you? Here, I'll write it down for you. There you go. That way you can phone her or you can email her, and then she can send you the Zoom instructions. And also, if you want to give her a phone number, if you can't Zoom in, I can always call you, okay? All right, thank you for coming this morning and for getting all the things done that you've been getting done. We appreciate that. You too. All right. We ready, Mr. Redd?
Yes, ma'am.
I did have Mr. Gregoza. I don't see him though. There he is.
I'm here, Judge.
Mr. Gregoza, you're here for Eric Nuno, 19 MM 1414.
Yes, I am, Judge. Judge, I'm just waiting for an offer from the state.
What's the offer to resolve Mr. Nuno's case, Mr. Redd?
This was set for a hearing today with the defendant's presence being mandatory. This was originally set for a hearing in January. Mr. Gregoza was then recently retained, and we continued for a month. But this is set for a hearing today.
Were you aware of that, Mr. Gregoza? This was actually set for a hearing on today's date. It wasn't on a status. It was supposed to.
No, I was. No, I was not.
All right.
Could we reset this for a hearing then, Judge? Maybe the state can give me an offer. I haven't gotten an offer from them at all yet. At least not.
There was an offer that was made when Mr. Nuno was present, but we can have him put it on the record. What is the offer?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's offer is 45 days jail with credit time served.
Revoke resentence, 45 days jail, credit for time served, Mr. Gregoza.
Okay, let me talk to him. Do you want to reset this for another hearing, Judge? In the meantime, if he'll accept the offer, I can just set it for a plea.
Well, yeah, if I reset it for a hearing, they're going to resubpoena the witnesses. So if he is going to plead to it.
I think that sounds pretty. Let me talk to him about that. It was 45 days jail. Is that
Yes, sir.
All right.
Is that to all be done straight, Mr. Rabb, or does he have options?
Yes, Your Honor, it's
All straight.
Okay. I just lost, I'm still,
Hold on, Mr.
Are you there?
Burbank. Mr. Hendricks.
okay,
wants
then
to-
I'm back. All right.
Just counsel where this BOP was filed 15 months ago, and it is the 11th.
I recall. Yeah, that's why I'm surprised that he's not here. So what we're going to do is we are going to set this, Mr. Gagosian, now that you've been recently retained, we are going to set this for that March 23rd date, mandatory appearance of the defendant on our 10 o'clock hearing date. And you have the offer now that could be conveyed to him. I think we're kind of at the end of the road with Mr. Nuno. I realize that he probably understands the consequences, where we're at right now. And I just don't think those are going to change. So, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because obviously he didn't tell you that this was set for a hearing today and that he was required.
Right.
So
And could you,
I will give you an opportunity to talk to him. And if you wouldn't mind, if he is going to accept the offer, let's put it on a, let's set it for a plea and let Mr. Rabb know so he calls his witnesses off, please.
all right. And could you have the state send me the offer in writing, Judge, please, an email?
Will you do that, Mr. Rabb? All right, he's doing it right now, Mr. Gagosa. Thank you.
All right.
That's all you have this morning, right?
That's all I have, Judge, yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lucarelli, you ready?
I am, Your Honor. Good morning.
And you have Tracy Maziot, 20 CT 1198, motion to terminate.
Yes, Your Honor. I think everything's in order. Actually, probation confirmed that.
State have any objection to the request to terminate probation?
No objection from the state, Your Honor.
There's no objection from the state. Mr. Lucarelli, you provide me with an order, I'll sign it.
Thank you, Mr. Rob. Thank you, Judge. I'll have to provide one.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, good
Mr.
day.
Garrett, you ready?
I am, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning, and you're here for Roderick Knight, 18 MM 1040?
That's correct, Judge. He's on the screen right there where it says Mille.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Knight.
Good morning, Judge.
Where we're at, Judge, is I spoke with Mr. Rabb shortly after the last hearing, and Mr. Rabb apprised me of a pending warrant amendment, a new warrant that was going to come down the pike. I haven't seen that yet, Judge. I did get one filing that was like an email on like a Microsoft Outlook header, and it said something about warrant rejected. It was between two parties whom I don't recognize, but I haven't seen the amended warrant yet, Judge. Maybe Mr. Rabb can elaborate on that.
Well, I'm looking at it right now. It looks like it was filed February the 8th, and the amendment says not reporting to probation for the months of November, December of 2018, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, and October of 2019, 900 in arrears for the cost of supervision, failing to notify or receive consent to changing his residence, and that a warning card was sent to his last known address and was returned undeliverable. By the way, everything that I'm seeing on my screen shows that his mailings have been returned as undeliverable. Let's see, failing to live and remain at liberty without violating any law in that he committed the offense of driving while license suspended or revoked, 1217 in Houston County, Georgia, as evidenced by a sworn statement of Deputy Brainerd of the Houston County Sheriff's Office, dated 12/7/18. Next one is failing to live and remain at liberty without violating any law in that the aforesaid committed the offense of second-degree murder and cruelty toward children on 2/6/19 in DeKalb County, Georgia, as evidenced by the sworn statements of Prosecutor Casey Payton, sworn affidavit dated 6/25/19, and failing to pay court costs in the amount of $370. So he's got a lot of stuff going on.
He sure does, Judge. And my understanding is, because I tried to reach out a couple of times, and I know he's tried to reach out to his court-appointed counsel in Georgia to no avail. My understanding, and I don't want to misspeak here, but my understanding is that there have been no formal charges filed in that matter. And, I was really trying to get some information, a probable cause affidavit or something like that to see what the allegations are and try to get some idea as to why the case has sort of been at an impasse. Because obviously, Judge, those are extremely serious charges, and I know the charges are enough to get a warrant, but I also know, Judge, that an arrest in and of itself isn't enough for a finding of a violation. So my understanding is this wasn't his child, and it's potentially the fault of the parents. But it's something I would like to investigate a little bit further. I haven't even so much as seen the warrant. But I will circle back with Mr. Rabb, and I will redouble my efforts to get with the court-appointed counsel, who, again, as I said, Mr. Knight, I know has been trying frantically to reach her, but has not been successful. I know I've left her a couple of messages, and I don't know if I have to go to her superior, but the lack of communication is a little bit concerning, Judge.
We also have the absconding and the issue with the fees, and never, looked like almost a year of not reporting to probation. So, Mr. Rabb, what's the state on this issue? Of course you can. Yes, he's going to come up because I'm way up here and he's way back there. So
yeah, thank you, Judge, because I could very faintly hear him.
Good morning, sir. Can you hear me better now?
A little bit better, Mr. Rabb.
I do agree. We need to reach out to the prosecutors in Georgia to get you additional information. Your Honor, this is the first time that this has come up on our hearing docket.
Okay.
I imagine that counsel has no objection to continuing this another month to allow us to gain additional information as it relates to the Condition 5 violations. As the court pointed out, there are additional violations in addition to the Condition 5 that we could proceed on, but I rather get all information as possible as it relates to the affidavit and proceed at that time.
All right, here's what the court's going to do. The court is going to set this on 2 cycles out. I'm going to put this on my April the 27th BOP hearing at 10 o'clock. I just have a gut feeling that we're not going to be ready in March. I don't know why. I think a 2-cycle continuance is probably better with this case in light of the severe allegations contained in the affidavit. I think that makes the most sense.
Yes.
I agree,
Okay.
Judge. Thank you.
All right. All right, thank you. And then hopefully we'll loop back in April and everybody will have good information and we can figure out what we're going to do from there. All right?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm going to email Mr. Rabb right now and get that information from him. And as I said, I will redouble my efforts in trying to get with his court-appointed counsel in Georgia.
Perfect. All right, thank you. And thank you, Mr. Knight, for zooming in too. We'll see what we can do next time, all right?
Yes, ma'am. You have a blessed day.
You too, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, who do we want to call next? Mr. Nelson Celian? Yes, Mr. Celian, 19MM 727. Good morning. How are you today, sir? Good.
Mr. Sealy is here. I believe this was set for a status. He has paid the party.
Great.
He also previously submitted completion and
Good.
one other evaluation that needs to be done.
Okay.
Judge was originally only placed on 6 months probation and would like to extend his probation so that he can resolve the positive THC test from about 14 months ago. He will serve 10 days weekend work program.
Okay. So 10 days weekend work, extend probation for 6 months. That would be the plea offer?
Yes, Your Honor. It's a modification of probation to extend for 6 months.
Okay.
In addition to all current conditions that will remain intact, the additional condition of 2 days weekend work.
Okay. Let me just ask you this first before I take a plea. Is there anyone else that we could do quickly that's not going to be a plea, that would be simple? Oh, okay. All right. Then in that case, has he signed the VOP admission form? He doesn't have to? Is that right? I always thought you had to sign it. I thought you had to sign the form, whether it's a modification or a termination, I think. Yeah. Yep. Oh, I've always done it with them signing the form, so.
And the state will
Okay.
provide.
Perfect. You know, I have one of those forms that modifies in my office. I should bring those down with me because there's actually a form that one of the judges prepared
Yes, Your Honor.
that you just check the boxes.
Yes, Your Honor. And just for the record, Your Honor, the defendant was initially placed on 6 months probation. Because this is a first degree misdemeanor, the defendant was eligible for 12 months probation, which is now the state has authority based on probation of 6 months.
Okay, sounds good.
I believe it will be August.
Oh, you've got the forms there. Fantastic. That's great. I thought I had the only one. I was wrong. Yes, Mr. Sealy, we need to get you sworn in, sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Mr. Celian, would you please state your full name and your date of birth for the record? Trying to find the warrant for the violation of probation. Somewhere. Just give me 1 second. From last January? There it is. December 11th. Oh, wait a minute. January 17th of 2020. And sir, do you agree that you were placed on probation in this case for, what was his original charge? Was it possession of marijuana? I think it was.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it was. Possession of marijuana, and that the maximum penalty that you could serve on that charge would be a year in the county jail. Do you understand that, sir? And sir, you have been charged with violating your probation, and in that affidavit of the violation, which I'm going to pull up again, the allegations are that you violated condition 1, 2, 5, 5, 7, 7, 10, 12, and 12. Do you admit to violating your probation, sir, those conditions? Have you read and signed a violation of a probation admission form? This one here. Do you understand all the rights that you're going to be giving up by entering into this admission? Has anybody threatened you or made any promises to you to get you to admit to the violation of probation? Are you entering this admission because you believe it's in your best interest? And you've been represented by Ms. Arnpriest. Are you satisfied with her advice? Do you have any questions for her or for me before we finalize your admission? Are you currently under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to enter into this admission? Do you currently suffer from any mental illnesses? Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, that admitting the violating your probation could be utilized against you in a deportation proceeding? Anything else I need to ask this gentleman, Mr. Ab? All right, sir. So the court will accept your admission to the violation of probation. We'll modify your probation and extend it for another 6 months. As a condition of your probation, you will complete 10 days in the Collier County Jail, which may be done on the weekend work program. Also, weekend lockdown also may be done by straight time. In other words, you could do it 10 straight days if you wanted to. All of your conditions will remain outstanding. Thank you. Good luck to you, sir. There you go.
And it's all the conditions that are listed on the amended.
Yes. Yep.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Those 3 forms or 3 orders, you have your client's name on that. I didn't cross your name out, if that's sufficient for you.
That's fine with me. Thank you to Judge Martin for preparing these orders. Just might have to get one that puts my name on it. There we go. Thank you. Okay. All right, who would we like to call next?
Your Honor, as it relates to Mary Crocker Kennedy, who's 2575, Judge, she has a new law violation that she has multiple law groups pursuing the Caro on the case. I reached out to my client and Mr. Caro, not heard back, so I'm not sure how to work with it.
Is she set for a hearing today?
I'm not sure what Mr. Caro's plan on the new law violation is, but because she didn't pick up the EOP and there hasn't been a response to the email, I'm not sure how to proceed for the new law benefit.
Do we know whether she's made any progress on the outstanding terms of her probation?
Yeah, the only outstanding condition is there is a number 1 failing to report for May of 2020.
Okay.
But the other fine was paid, counseling had been done for the past 6-7 months. I think the only major issue would be this, the new law violation. I see that it's set for pre-trial April 21st.
Okay.
That's going to be the main thing forward.
Okay.
And I would agree with probation's statement.
Mr. Rob, what do we want to do with Ms. Kennedy?
Your Honor,
I don't even see the new law violation, but it just hasn't hit my dashboard yet.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe the best course of action would be to give this one final continuance before setting it for a hearing, allow myself, Ms. Arnpriest, or Ms. Murray to all speak as it relates to potential resolution of both these matters.
Okay. What's the new violation for? Battery, okay. I mean, it sounds like she's done with this case, pretty
And
much.
I believe she has been for a while. Last I spoke with her, she was very close to completing everything.
Okay. I do feel a resolution of this one anyway. I don't know about the other one, but this one feels like it could be resolved. So I'm going to continue it. Yes.
This new law violation was during probation of this case.
It wasn't since we filed it, since the BOP was filed?
No, this is when we was violated.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I was thinking that it just happened.
No.
Okay, I stand corrected.
Yeah, it was nearly done with probation and picked up a new law with violated
Gotcha.
probation.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not right in the middle of probation.
I was thinking that the new law violation just happened. All right. I misunderstood. Okay, let's move this to March 23rd at 10 for status. And we'll see if Mr. Carroll gets on board. If not, Ms. Armbruster, it'll remain your case, I guess. But either way, we need to figure out what's going on with Ms. Kennedy. Thank you.
Yes,
Did I?
next if we could.
Oh, we need to check it?
It says circle one or both for the weekend work weekend.
Um,
I don't know how important it is.
I thought I put in X by one of them.
I just said both. I circled both. Okay, I'll circle all of
No,
them.
it's okay.
I think if I circle the word both,
Okay.
that should be good, right?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So, who's next? Mr. Jones, come on up. Yes, of course.
Your Honor, Mr. Jones had to complete some additional community service hours. He has done those. He also has a receipt showing that he has a zero balance. He paid his fine.
Awesome. So you got everything done. Fantastic. Mr. Rabb, what are we going to do for Mr. Jones in light of the fact that he's completed everything this morning?
We have, just to remind the court, this is the second BOP, he does have significant criminal history. It's the seventh BOP court date for this BOP. It was issued a year and a half ago.
Okay.
I don't have, unless you, the financials, I still, yesterday I haven't seen it. 60 hours community service. I don't know if anything's changed. I have been communicating with Mr. Jones on the telephone.
Okay.
We were trying to get a hold of them yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a church, obviously at the tax bill numbers. They were unable to get a hold of them. So I'd have to I can put this off maybe for a little.
Sure.
Find out downstairs if if that lady has called us back.
Okay.
Because as of yesterday, we didn't hear anything.
You couldn't confirm that he's finished the community service hours. Is that right?
It's a little different situation. Yeah, there wasn't a log sheet. It was just kind of no writing and what he's done.
Okay.
I did get a voicemail late in the day from her that I heard this morning, but I didn't know if the community service call got in touch with us since we got out here.
I think a control date might help, Judge, even if we set it for a control, then
Okay.
probation in the state can handle it and get paperwork.
So we could set it again on that March the 23rd date, 22nd? No, it's the 23rd, yeah. At 10, but I'm not gonna make him come in for that if he's all done. He could appear by Zoom, but we're just doing the status to see if he's got everything done. I'm not gonna make him come in.
I'm sorry, but that is a payment for the one outstanding probation fee that doesn't address the court costs. So if
Okay.
there's something that's gonna happen later as guilty time served, and I don't think you need to hear for that, so that.
How much does he owe in court costs? Oh, do we know?
Yeah, 470 is what I show. Part of that might be the application.
Okay.
And you should have just made I thought the court costs were done and it was just a separate line, so I kind of spoke with them.
How long do you think it would take you, Mr. Jones, to get those court costs paid? Because it sounds to me like that's what we've got left too.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out, everything will pay me too.
So I'm giving you another month because there's, it sounds like you might have everything done except for the court costs. And probation hasn't been able to confirm with your church that you did the community service. They just want to confirm it. But that also gives you another month to finish paying off the court costs and everything, and you might have everything done, which would be great. And yes, I'll allow you to appear over Zoom. So just, do you need my judicial assistance number? I can give that to you so you can call her? Or you want to give it to him? Pass him on the Zoom codes and you can just like people have been doing, they've been calling in. You're more than welcome to do that, just to appear over Zoom. Okay? All right, thank you. All right, we have an attorney that's calling in, Richard Castillo, it looks like. Mr. Castillo, are you there? He's not on yet. Mr. Armpriester, you want to call another one of your cases? Mr. Gustav, 18 MM 567. All right, Mr. Gustav, how are you today, sir? Doing okay?
Hi, Judge.
Hi, sir. We're right in the middle of one of our proceedings. We'll be right with you, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge, you said me. My bad.
No, that's okay. No worries. So what are we doing for Mr. Gustav? Great.
He's doing very well there. He owes some money and has to do a substance abuse evaluation. We're going to ask for a continuance of today's date so that he can get that eval done and allow him to save some money with his Chick-fil-A job to pay off those fees.
Mr. Hendricks, where are we at with this gentleman?
This VOP was filed over 2 years ago. He's had 2.5 years to complete all the conditions. Started out as a diversion, flunked out of that for not doing conditions. This is the second VOP on this case, which the first VOP was positive for marijuana, I believe, and the charge is marijuana. This is the 8th VOP court date with still no progress made. He's failed to appear 3 times on this VOP. I believe one time he was just re-noticed. I think this last one, I think they even just withdrew the bench warrant that was there.
I think you're right.
Judge, there was a warrant issued, and while I appreciate what Mr. Hendricks is putting on the record, we're where we're at. He is a young man. He's trying. We've been in a pandemic.
Well, we haven't been in a pandemic for 2 years, I can tell you that.
I understand that, but to come into court and boisterously tell everybody the obvious that we know this is 2 years old, we have a young man in front of us who is trying, he does have a job, and we all know the history of this case. When I came onto it, he was in bench warrant status. He's no longer in bench warrant status, and he has made great contact. I cannot speak for his prior mistakes. I cannot speak for what happened over the last 2 years. I can only speak for what this gentleman is trying to do now, which is pay his court fees and understand exactly what a substance abuse evaluation is so that he can participate in it.
Looks like the warrant for this one was served December of 2020. Is that right?
That's my understanding. That's when.
Oh, wait a minute. No, that's the bench warrant. That's not the,
Yeah,
that's the bench warrant.
that's when I got on the case, I believe, because it was in warrant status until then, until it opened up.
You know, I mean, he's been aware of what he's had to do through diversion, through probation, through officers, through other professionals. Just to kind of tell you how
Yes.
old this is. I mean, when this charge.
It's very old.
Courts, he was, and he's a 21-year-old young man right now. I think when this charge was brought, he was a teenager in high school. So that's how long it's been.
And that's part of the issue too, Judge. He was a child when he was brought in and expected to handle adult sanctions, which that is what it is. The law is clear when you're 18, that's how it is. However, we're in a situation where we can't go back and unring any bells.
Your Honor. This statement here.
Sure.
Your Honor, simply based on the case, I think the best course of action at this point is to set this for a hearing, whether that is in March or whether that is on your April date. I will leave that in discretion of the court to allow the defendant to gain additional time to complete any conditions that still remains outstanding. However, I do not see how any other option aside from a hearing at this point based on the age of the case.
I don't either.
I would object to a hearing in April.
I think we're going to set it for a hearing. I'm going to set it in April. And that will be at 10 a.m. on April the 27th. You know, I say to everybody, and I'll say to you, sir, what we want is compliance. Regardless of your age, we want you to do better. But when I start to get to the point where I have cases that are sitting on my docket that are going into their second year, it really worries me because it means that I'm not doing my job as a judge and getting cases moving. So that means I'm giving people too many opportunities. And at some point I have to say, the time's up. Time is up, April. April the 27th. So that gives you almost 2.5 months in order to make significant progress on this. Now that you're working, you just got to come up with a plan to start chipping away at everything that you need to do. And if you do that, I think you'll have a much better resolution in April than you will today. So it's up to you at this point. You're lucky you've got her on her side, because if you walked in here by yourself and I was looking at this with 2 years, starting to feel that uncomfortable feeling, but you've got somebody who's willing to fight for you and help you fight for yourself. So the best thing you can do over the next 2 months is do everything you can to show me that you're serious about getting everything done. And if you do that, as I said, I think things will go much better for you. Okay. So if for whatever reason there is, I said, before with some of my other cases, if there is a resolution to this matter that can be had versus having to state subpoena witnesses and have everybody ready for a hearing today, please let me know and I'll set you on a plea date. Otherwise, that April date will be a hearing. Okay? All right, thank you.
I'm not sure if it's been handled before, but being that he does owe $527.50, if I come in an order to convert fines to community service, if he's able to find the time for that, that would be acceptable.
As long as it's not objectionable to the state, I'm usually perfectly happy to have people do community service, especially if they have financial hardship. I figure when people aren't working or they're not working enough to make ends meet, the best thing they can do is go out and do some work in the community to help our community.
I see the pay stub for how much he is working and how much he's getting paid, and it would take a significant amount of more shifts to get this done by April, but with working and some community service, I think that that's a lot more.
Community service would be awesome. And as long as it's a 501c3 charity that's approved by probation, which I think, as long as it's a 501c3, isn't that right, Mr. Hendricks? Charity that he does his community service hours with, that he'd be okay? Yep. Right. But it'll at least help him chip away at some of his court costs. And sir, we have a lot, I just keep seeing on the news every day that we have lots of organizations that are trying to help people, and I'm sure they could use volunteers. And that would provide not only assistance to you, but a great service to our community, which is a win-win. Right. Perfect. Yes, sir. Perfect. So we will allow you to do that. Do you need an order on that? I do. All right. Mr. Armpriester, could you prepare that order that converts it to community service for me so I can sign it?
Yes,
Yes, absolutely. Mr. Castillo, are you there? He was there. There he is. Hi there, Mr. Castillo. You're here for Jackie Jim, 18 CT 2836.
Yes, ma'am, I've been here. We were here last time for Miss Jim. It's a violation of probation.
Yes.
Where she's completed every condition except for the immobilization. I submit the paperwork that she does not own a vehicle. The last vehicle she owned was sold to an ex-boyfriend, so it is the only condition that she cannot complete. I spoke to the state yesterday to inform him that I was going to ask Your Honor to possibly waive the immobilization and terminate her probation because she's done everything else. Did inpatient rehabilitation, defeated COVID. She's been busy.
Okay. I do see the affidavit that was filed on January the 12th that says that she no longer owns a vehicle. Mr. Rabb, any objection to waiving the vehicle impoundment requirement?
Well, the only issue would be, if it's just the impoundment we're addressing, is the failure to report from September to April, so almost a 6-month period.
All right, so the court is willing to waive the vehicle impoundment based on the affidavit that has been filed in this case. However, there's also an allegation that Ms. Jim simply failed to report between September and April, and we don't have any information to provide to the court why she failed to report or failed to provide any information to probation, because usually probation will have some information that says I can't get there, or I'm having problems, or I'm sick. And I mean, that's a long stretch of time. That's like 7 months that she didn't come in.
My knowledge, he was in the Miccosukee rehabilitation for a while.
She had to
7
go.
months? It's a long rehabilitation.
She was doing the inpatient for a good spell of time, and then the intensive outpatient. I wasn't ready for this question, Judge, so please forgive me.
That's okay. I mean,
was focusing.
I think that it would be really helpful if the information about her rehabilitation was provided to county probation, so they had that, and because we need to have some good reason that she wasn't here. And usually when people go into a rehabilitation facility, they'll provide that information to their probation officer so that it gives them a reason that they were unable to report, and also shows that they're making good strides toward helping themselves. And we don't have that for her. We just have a failure to report, which sounds to me like it's the only thing outstanding. Is that right, Mr. Hendricks? Is having a reason why she didn't report?
Yeah, unless they, I can provide some of the dates that, they ordered 90 days jail in this judgment. I believe, 90.
And then she was going
to rehab before she pled, so they'd already accepted that rehab instead of jail.
Okay.
Then the other rehabilitation center back at the same facility, looks like it was just completed, I'm gonna say, actually, almost 3 months ago it was completed, right, November 2nd.
Okay.
So that's after probation, so I don't have any reason to believe she was, the rehab before probation, and another one after probation, so I don't think that addresses the reporting for 8 months, not reporting, I should say. Maybe she has an answer.
So we need to address that. Maybe what we want to do is bring her in, and I can bring her in over Zoom, Mr. Castillo, to find out why she just simply failed to report. And if there was a good, valid reason, it just, it sounds like there hasn't been good communication, and maybe she does have a good, valid reason. Maybe she was getting help for herself, but should have probably been communicated with probation, because we wouldn't be having this trouble right now if it had been.
Early on, Judge, when I was involved with the case, I was sending both the prosecutor's office and probation the stuff that I was getting. I believe I got an email many months ago from the probation indicating I should go to the prosecutor's office and send the stuff, because I was CCing both parties on everything I was doing, and then I was given instructions not to do so. So I just started e-filing stuff and giving it to the prosecutor's office.
Okay. Well, the one thing that we probably need to address, and I'm willing to give you a little bit of time, sir, to bring her in to address it, is condition 1, which is the failure to report from September of 19 through April of 20. Those are those, and it looks like everything else has been done. Is that right? Because I just waived the vehicle impound, so I think we still do need to address the failure to report. And if the reason is that she was in rehab and she was doing really well, or that there was some misunderstanding on her behalf that is reasonable, we may be able to address it then, but I do think we should talk about it.
That's fine, Judge. When do you want to reset me for Judge?
Yes. Well, it's not quite pre-COVID, because when we started to get into March and April, that was definitely when everything was shutting down. But before that, I would agree with you, Mr. Hendricks. Why don't we address it? Let's do it over Zoom on March the 23rd at 10. And it'll be status, but I want Ms. Jim present.
President's in front of Your Honor, or via Zoom, Judge?
She can be via Zoom, sure.
Judge, March 23rd, if I'm lucky, I'll be skiing someplace in the world with my son.
They have Zoom at the ski resorts.
It's just, I know.
I'm totally messing with you. I'm sorry. I am really messing with you. That's not very nice.
I actually did a hearing before Judge Lundy when I was in Vail.
Your son sounds awesome, actually.
I actually did a hearing before Judge Lundy when I was in Vail for the holidays, so I can do it.
No, I'm not going to do that to you. I want you to have time with your family. I think everybody needs that. So.
The following week, I'm safe.
Well, the following week I've got motions. I'm going to stick you on my April date, which is the 27th at 10. Even though that's longer than I'd like to continue it, I definitely don't want to take away from your family vacation. So let Ms. Jim know that we're going to need to have her Zoom in, and I'd like to find out what her reasoning is for her failure to report. And then I guess Mr. Rabb and Mr. Hendricks, what I would ask you all to do is maybe consult with each other, and that way you can tell the court if she doesn't have a great excuse why she failed to report. what is the sanction, if any? Based on the fact that she's gotten everything else done, at this point, with her having everything done except for the failure to report, what will we do in this case? And that's why I'm throwing it out there with you guys. Okay. All right. So that way we can all talk at that point. All right. And enjoy your vacation with your son.
Thanks, Judge. May I be excused?
What do you need? Oh, and I have to do it. Could you send me over, sir, an order waiving the impound? If you just email it to my judicial assistant, I'll sign it for you.
I shall, Judge.
Perfect. You have
Thank you so much.
you have her email?
I'm sure my office knows how to find it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thanks, Judge.
We'll
Have a
see you
great
in
day.
April. Enjoy your ski vacation.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. Okay. Ms. Armpriester, you got a couple more? I have two. The first one that you have is Amanda Lang, 19MM1665, and Miss Lang. Oh, she just walked outside? Well, let's recall it. Okay, sure. I was going to call your other one, but if you want to bring her back in. Well, the other one's Tony Stockner, 19MM1879. Is Mr. Stockner here? Okay, well, let's go get Ms. Lang. All right, let's see. We have some individuals here who are not represented by an attorney. Ma'am, are you represented by an attorney, or are you representing yourself? What's your name? Ms. Perkins? All right, Ms. Perkins. Joanne, 19CT483. All right, Ms. Perkins, let's see what we got. Oh, let's see here. Yes, sir. Yes.
While Mr. Hendricks is speaking, the state would just advise the court this was originally set for hearing today. But speaking with Ms. Armpriester, I believe we've had some communication with the defendant conviction as an representative. It does appear that the defendant may have completed
You completed everything?
Yeah, and then I went downstairs first to pay the $500 for the community service that you put. And they said that I need like an order.
I have an order.
Oh,
it was. It looks like that's okay. I did sign an order that allowed you to buy out community service hours on November the 6th. Let me just print it for you.
Okay.
They must have missed it.
Where did you go? Probation?
She's a clerk at court.
She needs the memo that probation types up saying, then she takes that as a receipt to pay you it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She needs to go to the community service to pay the community service.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I've got the court order right here that I signed November 6th that allows you to pay it off. Okay, perfect. Well, we'll give you a copy of it anyway. That way you'll have it. All right. And then it says the remaining case fees were sent to collections, so you'll just have to address those. Is the only thing that she has left to do, Mr. Hendricks, is the buyout of the community service? Is she done?
Well, so she was given 2 months on the last contingent back in December.
Right?
And I have no progress made since that date.
Oh, will you show that to him, please?
That was not a record. That was a record.
Okay, you gave this to Brenda Vivas?
No,
We didn't have to bring it on.
She may have thought she was supposed to bring it with her to court. That's okay. You brought it with you, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm still outstanding in the community service we just mentioned.
So the fines have already gone to collections, so you're gonna have to deal with collections on those. And the community service,
I have the cash right here.
so we just need to get you to pay that. Can you go down and pay it right now?
Right now.
And then come back with the
I go
receipt?
to probation and prove them this.
Yep, we're gonna recall your case.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Ms. Lang?
I'm just gonna stand over here and
Okay. Are you okay?
I woke up to, and I had a text message from her, and I responded, and I took care of the baby, and I lay back down, I woke up an hour later, and I was not.
Oh, and we don't want you to come to court sick. So if
I
you're,
didn't know what to do. I don't
that's
want to
okay.
bench warrant.
No, I'm never going to bench warrant you if you're sick. And I'm never going to bench warrant you if you have a sick baby or if you have some other emergency in your family. We're never, ever going to be like that. We want you to be okay. So, and I'll always let you appear over the phone if you're not feeling good, or I can have you go over Zoom. We have all kinds of options for you. We don't want you to come in and feel bad. So, and we don't, and if you're sick and you're contagious, we don't want you to get everyone else sick too. So there's,
I just complete my PCF case. I don't want nothing else in the world, but no one else. Big deal for me so far.
good, good. Well, we'll just understand that with me personally, that I always want to make sure that I can accommodate somebody, especially if they're not feeling good. So I'm never, ever going to throw you in jail because you're sick. And I would hope to goodness that no other judge would either. But it sounds to me like you've been through a lot.
Yes, Judge, and I know from speaking in text, if we could have a continuous one that Mr. Rapp, state offer doesn't also have the jail.
Okay.
I think we might be able to work a resolution.
All right, and your case is 19 MM 1665. Let me just take a look at your case.
I'll take the court order.
Yes, you want to sit? Let her sit down. You go ahead and sit.
It was here in December, 2 months ago. We continued it for progress. There's no progress made since the last one.
Let's have you provide your receipts to the probation office for now. All right, let's look at the affidavit for the violation. 10/21/20. A lot of it's monetary. We also have the community service hours.
It looks like she paid $20 towards her probation on Friday. So the 850 is down to 830.
Milepost Shoplifters Alternative Program, what's going on with that?
No milepost, no community service.
Sergeant Priester?
$20.
The question was, and she's paid $20 in 2 months. She's got outstanding fines. She has done none of the community service hours and also has not completed the Milepost Shoplifters Alternative Program. So $20 in 2 months without progress on anything else is a little disappointing. All right, I just want to take a look at some stuff. Looks like the DCF case was closed in January, which is good. So you're done with that. And I understand that that has probably taken up a lot of your time and resources because they generally do. But now that that is over, now we have to make some progress on this case.
I wanted to ask, I found a place that will do volunteers that let me bring the baby in. So, can I have anyone to watch them at the Twinkle Twinkle Little Store? Is that acceptable, or?
I think Twinkle Twinkle Little Store is not a not-for-profit. It's got to be a 501c3.
Oh, okay.
You would have to be able to do, and are you asking me if I would convert your 24 hours of community service? Or actually, no, you're asking to do the community service at a store. I don't think they are a 501c3, so it would not be a place that you could actually do your community service, but there may be other places where you could bring the baby with you, where you could do your community service. you know, maybe there's a daycare that needs volunteers or something. Some of them are nonprofit, but I don't know where. So, yes, sir.
Say with request for this to be put on the April docket for it to.
That's what I'm inclined to do. I'm inclined to set it on the April docket, which is April, I keep losing my April calendar. The 27th at 10 a.m. What that'll do, ma'am, is that'll give you a little more than 2 months in order to allow you to start making some significant progress. The court's, one of the court's biggest concerns right now is that we don't have the community service hours done, which you say you're trying to do. And I understand with a newborn baby that that's going to be hard, but there are places out there that I think you can bring your baby with you. And then the other thing is that we really need you to complete that milepost shoplifters alternative program. You know, the financial issues are always ones that we can work with you on. We don't put people in jail for failing to pay when they're struggling and having difficulties. The problem is we got to have good communication, that you tell the court, this is what's happening with me. I have a new baby. I've had all these other obligations, and we'll work with you. The community service hours, the shoplifters program, we need to have those done, like as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah, I started that.
So we have to get it done.
I just need my income tax check back. All this, no problem.
Well, I've given you until April, so if you get it done in 3 more weeks, then you still have to do the community service hours and you still have to do the shoplifters program. Get all that stuff done, okay? And feel better. Thank you. All right, what about Mr. Stockner? Okay. When you speak with him, Mr. Priester, will you get a good address for him? Because it's his notices are coming back. So we need to.
His phone number recently changed to like within the last 10 days. So
Okay.
Should I just pass that on to Mr. Callister?
Well, we need just to correct it with the clerk's office. So, yeah. Okay, so let's put that one on the March 23rd at 10. It'll be for status. This is Mr. Stockner.
His number just changed like 10 days ago.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right. Next, we have Mr. Green, Tyler Green, and this is case number 18MM2835. Last time we were before the court, Mr. Green indicated that he was ill and that he could not be present. This morning, he called my judicial assistant and said that he has COVID. So with Mr. Green, I am going to note in the case file that the last time he was here, he was sick, had a sick child, one other, and this time he says he has COVID. Yes.
I believe that this case was set for a hearing.
It was.
It was also set for a hearing this month.
Well, when somebody tells me he has COVID, he's just said the magic words, which give him a continuance.
Understood, Your Honor, just for the record, I believe he has FDA 3 times as well as it relates to specifically. The state will be requesting that warrant.
Yes.
No matter what.
I understand, and I'm putting another note on here. You know, it was funny because we saw a lot of him. He would come in, and he just kept telling the court, this is what he was doing, this is what he's gonna do, this is what he's gonna do, and then all of a sudden, I feel like every month that he's supposed to be here, he has one excuse after another. I now have noted on my calendar that he says that he has COVID. So he is going to be here for the next hearing, which will be March the 23rd at 10, set for a hearing. And if he's sick, he's coming in sick. So we will find him.
Yeah, I believe he was here last month too.
No, last month we had an FTA, but then Jen, after I got out of court, told me that he had actually called her sick, so I recalled the warrant. And one month he's got a sick child, which I noted on there, and then this month he says he has COVID. So to be have these problems 3 months in a row on the day that he has court is kind of like I'm feeling 3 strikes. But I'm not bringing him in the event that he actually came in and then we do find out that he had COVID, he actually has COVID. That would be really terrible. So, all right, next person, let's find out. I've got some individuals that are representing themselves in here. Sir, what is your name in the blue? Or in the black? What's your name?
My name is Luis Hernandez Jr.
All right, Mr. Hernandez, come on up. 19 CT 1796. How are you today, sir? And what's happening with Mr. Hernandez? How's he doing with his tasks? Okay.
Luis Hernandez Jr.
Yes.
Sorry. What's on the affidavit is the probation fees, the amount of fines and court costs, and the counseling. He was able to complete the counseling December 28th.
Okay.
He has significant, a pretty big criminal history. We were at this time just going to recommend, if he would admit to the violation, we would recommend to the state a time served or both of those conditions outstanding. He did do 60 days jail upon sentencing on this judge.
That is a different honor or adjudication time service.
Sir, do you understand the offer to resolve your case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We're going to need to have you fill out a violation of probation admission, sir. It's a form that tells you the rights that you're giving up. So if you could just have a seat for a minute. I'm also going to hand you, I don't know if you've seen these, but I looked on your record and there are 2 notices to suspend your driver's license that were filed showing that it's going to be suspended as of, it looks like February 21st. So I don't know if you got these in the mail, but I'm handing them to you so that you can address them. Those came right from the clerk of courts, it looks like. That's not something I have control over, so you may want to talk to the clerk and find out what you need to do in order to satisfy those suspensions. Okay. All right, so have a seat. We'll give you that form to fill out, and then we'll take your plea as soon as I get through everyone else, okay? Okay, thank you. All right. Are you Miss Cruz, or are you Miss Perkins? Miss Cruz, come on up. We took care of Miss Perkins already? Oh, she's coming back. That's right. That's right. That's right. I have second call on here. I just couldn't remember. 19 MM 621. How are you today? Good. How are we doing with Miss Cruz here?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe that all conditions have been completed. The state is requesting that the violation of probation be dismissed from probation.
All right, you're done. Thank you. Oh. Brad, you want me to do it?
I'll be the dismissal.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any form orders up here. I would do them.
So violation is dismissed and probation adjourned.
Yes. Gentleman in the back, you want to come on up? Morning, sir. What's your name, sir? Okay, Mr. Aaliyah, 19 CT 1574. Sure.
I was here last month. I think you gave me until today to pay my stuff off. A week later, after the court date, it moved to collection. So I was trying to pay it online. And so I called the clerk of courts and they recommended you to come in and talk to you about it to see if maybe I can get that reimbursed. There was miscommunication between when I called the sorry.
So
when I got here, when I didn't go pay the community service line, they told me that I didn't need that they could just charge me for the actual fines and result of the collection. So that's what happened.
Well, I'm looking here and it says you paid $1,502 $216 and $500 towards your 50 hours of community service, and I'm showing it on here as paid. So you did all that this morning?
I did, because I didn't know about the collection thing.
Okay.
I had to talk to you about it first, because there were adding on another $100 something when I spoke on the phone.
Oh, okay, let me just look.
So, yeah, because the week after, when I had my last court date, they all got sent to collection, I thought, and I couldn't pay online. When I called, they told me to come in and talk to me about it. So when I came in this morning and I spoke to them, they told me something else. So since I was already here,
Looking at it quickly, it looks like they did recall it from collections, because I don't see an extra collections fee that was.
I don't either.
applied.
I don't either. Let
It
me
looks
just,
like you paid what was due.
that's what it looks.
because I got the paper in the mail as well from the collections agency.
Yeah.
And instead of the 1,002, it was like 1,390. So when I called the purpose court, I told them about that. I had until today to pay it. They told me that they didn't know what to do, to talk to you. But when I came in this morning, when I spoke to over there where you pay for the community service, they told me that I didn't need to speak to you, that they can revoke it here, and I can just pay what was due.
How much money did you pay this morning? Because it looks like you paid 1,502, or did you pay 1,502 plus 500?
It was 1,502, and that was including the
Including the 500. Right, so you had 1,002, so they never added the 300, and then you paid the 500, so they never added the $300 on there.
No.
Okay, so it's fixed. I don't.
Yeah, because I couldn't pay it online, because I started paying 2 weeks after, so I didn't have to come in, because I remember you told me I paid it before, probably didn't have to come in.
Right.
I was trying, and I couldn't, so I called the week before coming in, and I told them, hey, I can't pay, and they told me you got sent to collection, and check your mail. So I went to, because I moved, I went to the other address, checked my mail, and I did have a paper from the collection.
Okay.
So when I came in, it was a different story. They told me I didn't have to see you for that. I could just pay it here, and they didn't, yeah.
Somebody fixed it for you internally, because it says 216, case has been recalled, so they took it back from collections. They didn't charge you the $300. They let you pay off all of your money, including the court-ordered hours, so that it's all fixed. So somebody managed to fix it for you. So you didn't really need to tell me that, because it's fixed.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that, I tried to pay it before, but I couldn't. Exactly.
Yeah, and it got crossed, things got crossed. So what are we doing for this gentleman today, in light of everything he's done?
Does it show, you were saying it shows 500 was paid?
Yes, it does.
Oh, I have all the.
It shows $1,502 was paid, and it was paid this morning.
$500 towards 50 hours of community service, and
$1,002 for what was remaining outstanding. Yep.
Your Honor, state recommends to dismiss probation or to dismiss violation of probation.
Court would agree. Case is dismissed. Everything's terminated. You're done. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for getting it done this morning. We need another order.
On the way, Judge.
All right. Mr. Hernandez, do you have a chance to look at that form?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Come on up. All right, we are back on the record for Mr. Luis Hernandez Jr., case number 19CT1796. And the offer for him was to revoke and terminate conditions outstanding. Is that right?
I'm sorry, go ahead, Your Honor.
Was it revoke and terminate conditions outstanding?
It was revoke, resentence, adjudication time served.
Revoke and resentence, time served to conditions outstanding. Okay. All right, we need to get you sworn in.
do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Sir, will you please state your full name and date of birth for the record? All right, and sir, do you agree that you were put on probation for a DUI third and that you were given all of the terms of your probation?
Yes.
Do you understand that with a DUI third, the maximum amount of jail that you could have spent on that was, Mr. Reb? 1 year in the county jail. And knowing that, do you wish to admit to violating the terms of your probation, specifically violation of provision 2, 10, and 12? Have you read and signed an admission form? Do you understand all the rights that you're giving up by entering into this plea? Are you entering into this plea because you believe it's in your own best interest? Has anybody threatened you or made you any promises to get you to enter into this plea? And sir, you're representing yourself. Do you understand that you have the right to have an attorney present at all stages of the proceedings, including at a violation of probation hearing? And knowing that, do you wish to go forward on your own? Without a lawyer? Okay. And sir, are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medications that would affect your ability to enter this plea? Thank you. Do you suffer from any mental illnesses? Do you understand that if you're not a United States citizen, that this plea would likely be used against you in a deportation proceeding? All right, sir. All right, so, sir, the state will accept your admission and will revoke your probation and resentence you to time served. All conditions remaining will remain outstanding. Okay? All right, good luck to you, sir. Thank you so much.
That was number 12. I just
Oh.
want to make sure that I've got it right on.
Let's ask. Mr. Hernandez, did you complete the substance abuse evaluation already?
Yes, ma'am. I completed the BY school with the 12 weeks of Southwest Florida counseling.
Ah, okay.
I completed and I reported electronically since March every month, way past my probation period and.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Hendricks, do we have any indication that he actually did not violate 12, that he's finished 12?
Yeah, I just left the 12 off
Okay.
because that's my mistake.
Okay, so the courts will amend its previous ruling, which is that you violated section or condition 2 and 10, not 12. So that condition will not remain outstanding. Do I need to check anything or I don't, right?
Yeah, it's only affidavit, but it's since completed, so I think it's.
Well, I mean, you need to check my work, but.
I still need to check the blue box.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now we just need to bring back Ms. Perkins. And that's everybody.
And she did pay the $500, so she's probably on her way up now.
Awesome. Standing. Thank you.
Only downside of the job is sitting all day, it's just not my thing. No? Is this the Fat Tuesday? It is. I was looking for those donuts this morning because my friend Nicole is always like, you know, I always say it wrong, is it Tachi? The donut. Yeah. The big donut? Oh. What is the donut that they have on Fat Tuesday? Somebody has to know. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I know. How, like, the king?
Yeah, almost.
They're donuts. Nicole always gets them. What are they called? Hachi? Yeah. She always has them. She probably has them right now. Nicole, if you're watching my YouTube channel, which she might, we need some of those Fat Tuesday donuts down here in courtroom 3C. Stat. Yeah,
That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
I saw one of those at Wynn's the other day. It looks super creepy. It's like a white, like a butt cake, and then it's got a plastic little weird looking baby.
Sitting inside something.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I like that.
When I was working
I
on the
need to hear
hill,
good luck.
when I was working on the hill, the Greek delegation was like, bring us cake for Easter. And we would run it through the X-ray machine to see like where they're going.
That's awesome. So you could run the king cake through to find out where the little plastic baby guy is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hi, Ms. Perkins. We're ready for you. Last but not least. So did you get it all figured out? Yes. All right. We're back on the record in 19 CT 483, and the issue was you going down and getting your community service hours paid. Yes. And you got it done. Fabulous. All right, gentlemen, what are we going to do for Ms. Perkins this morning?
Looks like she has paid the service off at full. She's
Great.
paid, I don't know, she still has a balance, right, of her.
Collection.
Okay, that's still outstanding, so you can have those back. I'm sorry, I just got thrown this today with all the.
I understand. We could take a minute to look at it.
It looks like it was done, she entered some treatment at the Center. A few days after her, my issue is that she did do DUI school. 2020, they did refer her to counseling. So I think they accepted this.
Yeah, the lady, when I did the school said that as long as I have records showing that I went to the warrant, that was like the same.
They accepted.
Sorry.
Because she couldn't have down the line, if they don't accept it, issues getting her license back. So I don't want her to think that us accepting it will.
Right, no, she told me over the phone as long as I have the data.
So I'm not sure what the program is, but I think I have to look at it a little longer.
Yeah.
And what about the impoundment?
I don't have a vehicle, I had it notarized, a paper form notarized.
Yeah, we were able to get that addressed in-house.
Okay, so the impoundment is off, and then it looked like there were outstanding court costs and fines as well.
Right.
Are they still outstanding? You said they're.
Yeah.
They're in collections.
Sorry.
Thank you.
It does look like she's making payments
Yes, Your Honor.
on everything. It's in collections, but I'd see that she paid, let's see, $500 towards court ordered hours and $500 toward the outstanding fines, and with the balance left of 902 is what it says on my dash.
Well, the 500 is not towards fines, that's just, those two entries are both for the community service.
Oh, okay, all right.
One's like the affidavit.
Oh, I got you, okay.
Your Honor, I think it's best with outstanding fines, as the state mentioned, this was set for a hearing, obviously. There's
Okay.
made significant progress. With the outstanding, to allow Mr. Hendricks and probation to ensure that the David Warren Center program complies with what we need for probation. Also, for the sake of the defendant, to make sure that it complies with any license suspension requirements that she would need.
Okay.
So just continue this to March. Allow the defendant to pay any additional remaining costs.
For status?
Yes, Your Honor.
So if we move this to March, it would just be a status hearing, and what I'd do is I would allow you to appear either over Zoom, or I could call you if you wanted to not have to come in, because it sounds like if we got everything done, that you'll be at least close to done. You may have some stuff outstanding, or do you guys want her to appear in person?
I'm just saying, if she's got stuff outstanding,
I have to come here to come to change.
All right, then I'm gonna have you come back in person. That way we can verify that everything's done. If you still have some outstanding fines and things like that, we may have to actually have you do a plea so that we can put it on the record that you'll be done, but your fines and stuff will be outstanding.
Yes.
Okay, but that's an easy thing to do. Okay? All right, so March 23rd at 10, we'll see you then.
I don't want to come back and still have the same stuff. It looks like my reading is she did detox.
Right.
And refer her to substance abuse counseling.
I went to
that I'll need definitely, because this is not something that's on here. I'll double check it. I'll try to read it as best I can.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah,
And maybe what you can do is too with the David Lawrence Center is just give them a release so they can provide that information to probation, and they might be able just to shoot it over to him. Or to Brenda. Okay. Isabelas. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for coming in today. All right. That concludes our morning docket. Unless there's anything else, we're done for now. I'd say for today, but no, we got pleas this afternoon, but not as many as we had. So should be a pretty light afternoon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's get done with this.